Hello, in this short video, we will learn about formulae and functions in Microsoft Excel 2007. In Microsoft Excel, in a spreadsheet cell, you can enter either simple numbers. For example, I could put 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on. So I can enter simple numbers inside each cell, or I could enter formula inside a cell, and the formula can consist of the basic mathematical operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. As an example, in these cells I'm going to use mathematical operations using simple numbers. So let's use, for example, 4 plus 8, and you get the result of the calculation. Similarly, if I put 12 minus 4, I get the result of it. And if I put 4 multiplied by 8, I get 32. And if I put 8 divided by 4, I get the expected result. So in all these four cells, I have entered a formula involving simple numbers. You see how easy it is to create cell contents by filling in simple formula involving numbers. You could also create more complicated formula involving or referring to the contents of other cells. So these formulae are very similar to your algebraic expressions, except that instead of using variables, you use addresses of cells or range of cells as your variables in these formulae. So as an example, if I want to create a formula which would sum up the content of cell A2 and A3, I could create a formula like this. So you get the sum of the cells A2 and A3 in this formula. Now, same thing if you want to do a subtraction, you could do A4 minus A2, and I get their calculated result. And as an example of multiplication, I could do A3 multiplied by A2, and I get the answer. And an example of division, I do an A3 divided by A2, and I get the answer. So you could create formula not only using simple numbers, but you could refer the values in other cells in Excel. One more important thing to remember is that formula in an Excel cell should always begin with an equal sign. If you do not include an equal sign, the content that you enter in the cell will not be treated as a formula, but as a simple text. For example, if I do not enter equal A2 plus A3, if I miss out on typing the equal sign, and if I simply typed A2 plus A3, it would simply be a text. Similarly, if I put A4 minus A2, it's just going to be a simple text, and so on. So always remember to start your formula with an equal sign. Now let's see how we can enter a formula using the name box and the formula bar. What is the name box? The name box is the box that you see under the ribbon. This particular box, this is called the name box. So as you can see, what it shows is the current active cells. If I have chosen A8 as the current active cell, it displays that. If I chose the range of cells, it's again going to show the range of cells. So we just saw how the name box displays the name of active cell or selected range of cells. The formula bar displays the contents of the active cell. So let's see, if I go here, the formula bar shows me what is inside this active cell, which is B2. Since the content of the cell is a simple expression involving simple formula involving simple numbers, it's just showing the content. If it were just simple number not involving any formula, again it's just going to display whatever is inside that. Even if it's a text, it's going to display what's in that text and so on, right? Now another thing to note, so the cell content can be a text, number, or formulae or functions. So entering text and number are simple tasks. We are learning in this video how to enter formulae and functions inside the cells. So far we have seen simple formulae. We will get into functions pretty soon. One other thing to observe is as you try to enter a formula inside the cell, certain special buttons become visible. So for example, if I go into this cell and then start putting equal sign, or even before I go into equal sign, when I just click inside any cell trying to make an entry, you could see that some special buttons appear in the formula bar. So let's go here and I click here. The moment I want to enter something inside the cell, these buttons become visible. And those buttons actually let us choose accept whatever we have entered using this enter button, or cancel what we want to what the entry that we have made, or there is one more option which is to insert a function. We will see the functions of each of this shortly, but the idea is to be cognizant of the fact that the moment you start entering something into a cell, you get these special buttons visible in the formula bar. So let's see what each of these functions or each of these buttons let us do. So let's start off with so let me put 2 plus 3 as a function. And if I simply go there and cancel, it just resets it back to simple entry. So the cancel button just lets us cancel the formula entry, whatever we have made. Let's see what happens with the enter button. So very similar to what you might expect, it is just going to let us get the result of our expression. Of course, I need to put an equal, never forget that. So when I click on enter, it's going to give me the result of the calculation in the cell. So that's what the enter function, enter button is used for. It lets you obtain the result from the formula entered. And the insert function button is used to select a function from a range of functions available to you. So far we've been looking only at the formula, but let's quickly have a sneak preview of what the insert function is going to let us do. So the moment I click on insert function, I get a range of functions to choose from, right? And it could be from one of the most recently used functions, or I could ask for the list of all the functions available and so on and so forth. We will have a look at these in detail in our next video. Thank you.